Hey everyone.
Hi all. Hi Rafi. Hi Elvin and Frank. Maybe you can introduce yourselves in the chat and just let us know where you're joining from. I'm gonna start sharing my screen.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. You can use the chat option to introduce yourself. You can mention who you are, which community or which project you contribute to, or where you are from.
Great, thank you everybody who's starting to use the chat. Please take advantage of it while we wait for the rest. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes to make sure that we start with everybody that wanted to join today. Thank you, Elwin. Thank you, Kemi, Rafi, and Ana Maria, and Sailesh, of course. Transcriptions are always so funny. And just a heads up. Hi, Lane. Thank you for joining us. Just a heads up, we are recording this presentation so that we can later share it with those who aren't able to join today. So if you turn off your camera, you will not appear in the recording. But if you are comfortable with appearing in the recording, go ahead and turn on your camera. That is okay. Hi, Carlo. Nice to see you. Hey, Clement. Welcome. I know, Rafi, I'm excited too. Bienvenidos, compatriotas. ¿Cómo están? Great, we'll just wait 2 more minutes so we start on the 5-minute mark. Great. So why don't we start getting to know each other a little bit more? And I always like to start our meetings with a little bit of an icebreaker. So now that you know where the chat is and you're comfortable using the chat, I would like to invite you to just share with us what is your go-to snack when you are at home? What is something that you really, really enjoy as a little bit of a bite, you know, something to eat while you're working when you are at home, and where is home for you? For example, in my case, my go-to snack are chifles, which are plantain chips, and I'm from Peru. So I'm just going to write on the chat, my go-to snack are chifles, and home is Peru. So if you want, and you want to share a little bit about your favorite snack when you're at home and telling us a little bit more of where is home for you, I would like to invite you to do so in the chat while we wait for the people to join us. Thank you, Lane. Lane says that his go-to snack or their go-to snack is breakfast cereal, cinnamon toast crunch. Nice. And Lane, you're in the US, right? I think I remember from your presentation. Ooh, chefda. Oh, I've never heard of that, from Kenya. Thank you, Frank, for sharing. Cool. Great, I'm excited. Biscuit, ooh. Muruku, oh man. This is breakfast time for me, so you guys are helping me to open my appetite. Great, well, thank you so much for sharing your favorite snacks. You're definitely giving me to some hunger and more stuff to Google. Egg roll and a Coke. Nice, Clement. Thank you. I don't think I've tried egg roll. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. I'm going to share with you the agenda for today. Thank you again for taking the time to participate in this information meeting. Today, we're just going to have a brief session of about 45 minutes to give you an overview of what the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program is. And then we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about the training of trainers opportunity. I will tell you a little bit more of what the training of trainers is, what is the timeline of this program, what it prepares you to do, what are the things that you learn in the training of trainers, and we're going to take a closer look at the application process. I am going to share with you the application form, and we're going to practice doing like imaginary example of completing this application form. Remember that all of this is in order for the people who are interested in being part of the second cohort of the training of trainers. In the first cohort that we hosted between October and December of last year of 2021, we were very, very happy to help to support 22 Wikimedians to graduate from the program. And we actually have 3 of them joining us today. So after I share with you the application form, we will have some time to talk with these 3 graduates from the 2021 cohort, who will share with you a little bit more about their experience, their plans for the future, and also some tips about how to complete your application as well. And finally, we will have maybe about 10 to 15 minutes to answer any other questions that you might have. And please feel free in the meantime, while I am presenting, to leave your questions on the chat. If I am speaking too fast, also remind me to slow down. I appreciate those reminders. And my colleague Sailesh is going to be paying attention to the chat as well to help me with any questions or any comments that might come up. I think I didn't introduce myself. Apologies for that. My name is Melissa Guadalupe. I am a senior program officer with the education team at the Wikimedia Foundation. And I've been working on Reading Wikipedia in the classroom program since 2020. It's 2019. So yeah, I'm excited to share a little bit more about all of this work with you today. So let me start by explaining what is the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom program in the first place. So this is a 9-week professional development program that is specifically targeted at secondary school teachers. This program is designed specifically for teachers who work with students in high school, in secondary school in general. And the object of this program of Reading Wikipedia in the classroom is for teachers to learn how to use Wikipedia critically and through Wikipedia to strengthen their media and information literacy skills. You can read more about the first experience of this program of Reading Wikipedia in the classroom in our report, which is available on Wikimedia Commons as well. This program, this 9-week professional development program for teachers, is based around 3 content modules. These modules are aligned with UNESCO's framework for media and information literacy. This means that the way that the content is presented to the teachers is around these 3 pillars. How to use Wikipedia to access information, how to use it to evaluate information, and how to use it to create new information. And additionally, we provide some examples of lesson plans that are centered around Wikipedia, just to show teachers of what is possible, what kind of pedagogical activities are possible to incorporate using Wikipedia in the center. All of these modules, these 3 modules, are available, of course, on Wikimedia Commons, so you are free to check them out, to use them, to share them. But the program is not only the content modules. The program is also, a big component of the program is also the training sessions. We have 5 training sessions that the teachers participate in as they are working in these content modules. These 5 training sessions, you can see some screenshots of the examples of the training sessions in 2020. They are meant to be a space for the teachers to have an easier introduction to these new topics, for the trainers to also connect with the teachers and learn about their experience and answer maybe some questions that they might have, and to foster a sense of community in these programs, which is really, really important. And finally, one online discussion space. In the case of the pilot that we launched in Bolivia, Philippines, in Morocco in 2020, we used actually Facebook groups as our discussion space. We used that because our first exploration and surveys that we launched with the teachers told us that the teachers preferred to use Facebook because it was an environment that they were already familiar with, so we decided to go there. But now this online discussion space really can take any form. It can be in an open edX instance, for example, in a learning platform, or if we want to do the program maybe more synchronously, more in person, this discussion space can vary. This discussion space is meant for the teachers to share the answers to the exercises that they developed during the program, to share their answers to some reflection questions that are included in these modules, and to share experiences and also have like a very social component to this learning experience. So, like I said, we did this pilot in 2020 in these 3 countries that you can see here, in Morocco, in the Philippines, and in Bolivia. We did it with the support of our Wikimedia affiliates in these 3 countries. And just to share a little bit of view of the impact that this program had, we reached 7,000 teachers that joined us in the live training sessions, which were also broadcast through Facebook pages and stuff like that. And about 500 teachers actually participated in the program, which means they received the modules, they started doing some practice, all of these. And 100 of these teachers actually completed the program entirely, which means that they finished this 9-week program and they received a certificate that recognizes that they now know how to use Wikipedia to foster media and information literacy skills. The resources, like I mentioned, they are available on Wikimedia Commons, and they are actually available in 4 languages, English, Spanish, Arabic, and Tagalog. And at the end of the program, something that we pay a lot of attention to is evaluation, right? So we launched some surveys to learn about the teachers' experience and how was their experience in the program. So at the end of this pilot, we learned that 81% of our participants felt very confident in applying their new knowledge and skills that they have learned about Wikipedia and bring it to their classroom. So with this impact, with this result in mind, our team decided that in order to scale, we wanted to launch a training of trainers program so that more people like the 7 people that you see here can actually grab Reading Wikipedia in the classroom and implement it in their own countries in a way that is meaningful, pertinent, and impactful for their own teachers. And this is the opportunity that I'm going to talk about today as well. Here you can see a little bit of what the teachers in this pilot program thought about reading Wikipedia in the classroom. Like I mentioned, teachers really appreciated the social component, being able to see the work and the reflections, the answers of other teachers on this forum or in this discussion space. Also, they appreciated how professional the team was, and all of the activities that we launched, that we developed for them. And basically, and at the end, also a big impact of this program that the teachers expressed is how their ideas about Wikipedia completely changed in a lot of cases. We heard from teachers that they now know that Wikipedia is not the same as Google, that they now know that Wikipedia is built by volunteers, and how appreciative they felt to volunteers, and how empowered they felt to also start, intervening on Wikipedia and contributing to it now that they knew how to use it and what it's all about. So that was very encouraging feedback. So the training of trainers. This training of trainers, like I mentioned, is designed so that we can support more people around the world to bring Reading Wikipedia in the classroom and help more teachers to integrate and value Wikipedia as an educational tool, as a pedagogical tool. The training of trainers is an 8-week program, is fully online, and it demands a commitment of 5 to 6 hours approximately per week, and 8 weeks in total, of course. At the end of this training of trainers, you are part of a network of professionals who are ready to implement Reading Wikipedia in the classroom, whether as a standalone individual, in partnership with, of course, Wikimedia communities, but also with potential allied institutions and organizations in the education sector. And another benefit of this training of trainers is that it's not only the capacity building aspect that we provide, but we also provide some opportunities to access funding and a small grant to actually implement Reading Wikipedia in your country. And this grant doesn't go alone, just money. We also offer continuous support as you implement this local edition of Reading Wikipedia in the classroom program. So the training of trainers really is building the capacity, providing some sort of base funding, and providing some continuous support, continuous mentorship, and yeah, like trying to build a robust system for you to implement Reading Wikipedia in your own country. This is a little bit of a view of the cohort of participants that we had in the training of trainers in 2021. Some of you might have applied for that cohort. It was very, very competitive. We received 126 applications, and we invited 26 people to join the cohort. These 26 people came from 21 different countries. And at the end, like I mentioned, 22 participants completed this training of trainers and are now ready to implement the program in their own countries. This is what the training of trainers looks like for this year. Right now, the applications are open until February 20th. You can see here, this is the moment. That's why we're having this information session. On March 4th is when we will announce the cohort, who are the 25 people invited to participate in this new Training of Trainers edition. And the Training of Trainer will be developed between March 7 and May 8. So it's in total 9 weeks, but the program is only 8 weeks. And then we give you an additional week in order for you to maybe finish your assignments, integrate some feedback into your final assignment, or just to catch up with some stuff that might be pending. And then on May 20th is the graduation of the people who complete the ToT, so that around May, June, you are ready to start working and start bringing Reading Wikipedia into your country. This is what is contained in the Training of Trainers. It also has 3 modules, but these modules are designed to get you a feeling of what the teachers are going to learn, and then what are the skills and the knowledge that you as a trainer need in order to facilitate this experience for teachers. So in the first module, which is titled Learn, you will take a deep dive into the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom curriculum, but not just to know the curriculum, but to start thinking about how to adapt this curriculum in order to respond to the teachers in your country. So for example, something that we learned in the first Training of Trainers was that not in every country there was a policy for media and information literacy, but there were some countries where there was a policy for digital literacy or digital skills or 21st century skills. So how do we connect our program with this kind of policies and demonstrate its value? So that's what you do in this first module. In the second module, we start looking at how do you facilitate training sessions, right? How do you stand or how do you sit in front of an audience of teachers and help them learn this curriculum through the training sessions? And also we start thinking about, well, what is the best way to implement this program in our country? Is it online? Is it a blended, a mix of online and in-person activities, or maybe fully in-person activities? So this is when you decide. And then finally, in module 3, we look more at the project management aspect of implementing Reading Wikipedia in the classroom. So we look at tools like a needs assessment in order to get to know the teachers in your country. We look at how to establish partnerships, how to create a budget, and how to create an evaluation plan. And we have tools already designed for a lot of these stages. So you would just be reviewing what already exists, making decisions about what is helpful for your context and what is not, and then adapting all of these tools. And at the end, your final assignment is basically a collection of all of your small assignments that you worked during the course, and you complete this Training of Trainers with a full implementation plan. That means a plan for you to just follow and implement Reading Wikipedia in your country. All of these, like I said, is a fully online experience. It does have synchronous and asynchronous activities. And this all happens on a learning platform called Wikilearn that the community development team at the Wikimedia Foundation has been testing. So you can see there a screen capture of what Wikilearn looks like. You can see there's the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom course, which is what you teach the teachers, and then the Training of Trainers course, which is where you learn. And like I mentioned, all of the assignments, all of the exercises are like building blocks to your final project. So everything has a continuity in this program. And at the same time, we offer, of course, active feedback loops. So the course is not about failing you or passing you. It is more about making sure that you have all of the tools that you need in order to be a successful trainer of Reading Wikipedia. So if you present an assignment and it's not great, let's say, instead of marking you with an X, we will tell you like, oh, here is an area of improvement, or why don't you try this? Or maybe have you looked at this other aspect? And that way we try to provide feedback instead of just grades. And also we host weekly optional hours. There's always one time at the week when you can join your colleagues, your instructors, and just kind of like chat or have a space to directly ask questions. So if you're thinking if you should apply or not apply to this Training of Trainers program, this is what we recommend that you think about. First, think if you're interested in implementing a local version of Reading Wikipedia in the classroom in your own country. If your answer is yes, then definitely apply. If you're interested in Wikimedia education work, in doing education projects and building capacity for education projects in your Wikimedia affiliate, also apply. Definitely apply. Another important aspect is to reflect if you are able to commit those 5 to 6 hours per week. Because it can get, if you leave all the stuff for the last minute, it can get a little bit overwhelming. So we really recommend a more manageable pace by dedicating this amount of hours per week. And finally, reflect if you have any connections or any interest in connecting with organizations and institutions in your local education sector. For example, in the Philippines, when we launched this pilot in 2020, we were able to secure a partnership with the Department of Education in one of these cities. And the impact of the program was really great. The reach that we had in the program was really great, thanks to that partnership. So if you have been thinking maybe how to support your Wikimedia affiliate, your local Wikimedia user group or chapter, and connect it to organizations in the education sector, maybe not a ministry, but maybe like a teachers network or another nonprofit, this program could be an opportunity to work together on a first time and develop that relationship little by little as well for future projects. So what do you do if you want to join the Training of Trainers program? First, all of the information is available on MetaWiki. Make sure you review the dates, the important dates, and the code of conduct. We had a code of conduct to make sure that this is, a friendly and supportive space. And also, when you are applying and when you are building on your application, we evaluate a few aspects of importance. Your motivation is the main aspect. We want to know what is motivating you to be part of Training of Trainers, and if you understand Reading Wikipedia in the classroom. And that is demonstrated for us when you talk about the importance of this program for the teachers in your country. We also want to know about your previous experiences as a trainer and as an organizer. It could be a trainer for teachers, but it could be like a trainer for other kind of professions or other kind of experiences. And finally, we want to know how you plan to make this program sustainable. How do you see the future of this program in terms of looking at partnerships or looking at ideas for financing this program as well. Like I said, we do an evaluation that includes all of these aspects. So if you feel like you have the motivation, you know that this program is important, you know how to create the partnerships, but you don't have any previous experience as a trainer, that is not going to disqualify you, because we evaluate all of these aspects. So definitely apply, even if you don't, how do you say, fulfill all of these requirements, okay? The application form is available on MetaWiki, and we are accepting applications until next Sunday, so you still have time. And at the end, all of the applications will be evaluated by a panel from the foundation, and 25 applicants will be invited to join the cohort. And the cohort, like I mentioned, it starts in March 7 for the 8 weeks of training and 1 week of catching up with assignments. Now, I'd like to just do a quick walkthrough before we move on to the next part of this session and I finally stop talking. So let me show you the MetaWiki page. And thank you, Sailesh, for leaving the link in the chat. So this is what you see when you enter the information page for the training of trainers, or ToT. So what we want you to look at is, of course, the general information, the important dates, and then here you can find, well, after this, you will find the recording of this session over here. And then when you are ready to apply, you just click here to submit your application. And it should take you to a Google form, this Google form. As you can see, it has 8 pages, but don't let that discourage you. And like I said, it's not like one thing or 2 things is going to disqualify you. We really look at the application, I don't want to say holistically, but we look at the different aspects of your application, right? So the first question is, are you familiar with reading Wikipedia in the classroom? I am going to write that I am somewhat familiar, I know the purpose, I am interested to learn more. So I click on next. And here I'm going to, as you can see, I had already done this. So the good thing about this form is that I started working on this before, so it actually saved my answers. So I don't have to do it again if I close the page accidentally. So here you say, like, well, you know this name, Lisa, my email. Now, everything that has an asterisk over here is mandatory. But if you don't see the asterisk, this is optional, right? So Wikimedia username, I'm going to put Guadalupte. Country of residence, Peru. Gender, again, this is optional. If you don't want to give that information, that is totally fine. Do you contribute to any Wikimedia projects? Yes. I'm going to write here, Spanish and English Wikipedia. And then, are you a member of a Wikimedia movement affiliate? Are you a member of a user group or a chapter? If yes, yes. If no, no, that is also fine. And then just how did you learn about this? And I'm going to write, a friend told me. So next. And this is a little bit more about that evaluation aspect that I mentioned. What is your motivation and understanding of the program? So here I am asked to choose some of these statements, right? I need to choose 2 or 3 statements out of all of these that are my main motivation to apply for this training of trainers. So I'm going to say, I want to become a certified trainer, and maybe I want to launch a new education program for my Wikimedia community, right? This could be 2 or 3 of your own. Or if you have another, of course, here. And no, Frank, you don't need to have contributed to Wikipedia to be considered for the training. Definitely a plus, but like I said, it's, you know, we look at this from different aspects. So in a few sentences, how would you describe reading Wikipedia in the classroom program? And this is important for us because it tells us how much you know about this program. Don't try to write like a huge paragraph. Just a few sentences is fine. So I'm going to say here, just a test. And then this is the other question that I mentioned that is important, right? Why is this program even interesting or important for teachers in your country? Just tell us in a few sentences. With this, you are halfway through the application form, basically. Here we ask you about your previous experience as a facilitator or trainer. Like I said, just like tell us if you maybe have given any trainings before or a workshop, or if you are a teacher, you can tell us, I am a teacher, I do this all the time. Your previous experience organizing trainings, right? Because one thing is to be in front of the screen, talking, presenting. Another thing is organizing a workshop, inviting the speakers, organizing an event. So we want to hear about that too. And finally, if you want, share a link to your curriculum or to a page where we can learn more about your professional experience or your academic experience. After this, we want to know a little bit about your standing in the community health. For example, have you ever been blocked, or have you ever had a disciplinary process against you? If you say yes to any of these, we are interested to know briefly what happened, right? Because maybe it was something that has a very easy explanation, or something that is not, how do you say, detrimental. So we also want to give an opportunity to know that. Then we want to know if you agree with the code of conduct. And we want to know a couple of people that could talk about your professional or academic experience. We don't contact them all the time, just in specific cases when we want to learn a little bit more about you. Then the part about sustainability. You know, like, do you plan to train other teachers with Reading Wikipedia? Yes, or I'm not sure yet. An estimated timeline, if you have them, you know, like if you finish this program in May, when will you teach the Reading Wikipedia to the teachers in your country? Maybe in July, you know, July to December or something like that. We just want to know your ideas. This is nothing, how do you say, strict, right? Nothing strict, like just what you have in mind right now. Have you identified any partners in the Wikimedia movement, like user groups, chapters that you will work with? Have you identified education institutions, ministries, networks, universities, all of that? And then we want to know if you have access to other sources of funding. Like I mentioned, we provide some funding for the certified trainers, the people who complete this training. But if you don't have this funding, do you have access to other sources? And if not, have you identified, maybe do you have an idea of potential partners that could help you with this funding? And then finally, do you need support from the Wikimedia Foundation to establish partnerships or to secure partnerships? And just to tell us a little bit more. So all of this, like I said, is not final, just the ideas that you have at the moment of completing this application. And then this is about your commitment, right? Like, are you confirming that you can participate in these dates, that you are able to dedicate the 6 hours? If you have any issues, also let us know so that we can be prepared. The instruction, the language of instruction is English. Again, we want to know if maybe you need a little bit of support. What could facilitate you to participate in the program if English is not your first language? English is not my first language. So for example, I appreciate always having text. You know, text makes it easier for me. And then anything else that you would like for the team or the selection committee to know about you. And that's it. You reach the end of the application. If you want, you can go back, correct any of your answers, give it one final review. And when you are ready, you just click here, you enter your name again, and you just click submit. And with that, you have sent your application to this training of trainers. So I hope this was a helpful overview. I know that 8 pages sounds a little bit or looks a little bit intimidating, but it's really not, and you can work on it little by little. So I'm going to stop now because I feel like I've talked a lot, and I would like to invite the 3 participants from the 2021 cohort who just graduated in December, and they are here to tell us a little bit more about their experiences in the program. And I would like to invite you guys to turn on your cameras, and so that we can, yes, Rafi, you're there. Ana Maria, you're there. And I can see, oh, there you are, Bukola. Maybe Bukola, if you can turn on your camera, that would be great. Thank you. Hi, Bukola. Great. So let me introduce you to these wonderful speakers today. We have Ana Maria Espinosa from El Salvador. Ana Maria is actually a famous YouTuber. She goes by Profesora Neon. She's a digital humanities lecturer, multimedia producer, and tech lover. We also have Rafiul Bahar from Bangladesh. He's an open knowledge enthusiast, an advisor, and an NBT Wikipedia editorial and research team member. And finally, Bukola James from Nigeria. She's a librarian in training, a Wikibrarian, an SDGs advocate, and an infopreneur. Great. So let me just stop sharing my screen so that you can see the panel. Great. And I would just like to pass the microphone to Ana Maria. Ana Maria, maybe can you share a little bit of what motivated you to apply to the Training of Trainers program last year?
Well, hi. How are you? How are you all? Well, I'm a professor from a university, and I'm a professor from a digital humanities class. So the last year, 2020, I want to make an experiment to have a class to teach them how to use Wikipedia. So when I saw that you were doing this, I was like, that's great. I want to be that. So because I want to teach them that it's not that easy to create articles, just saying that you're going to make an article, because I think that was the second time we tried it. So the first time we tried, almost 4 of all the articles were erased. So I need to know how it's going to be the right way to make it, so I can tell them. And the second reason that's why I try to go in the cohort is because I feel like there is a need to teach from the schools, but to my other teachers, to the university teachers, because they are always complaining, don't use Wikipedia, don't use Wikipedia. Hi, you're using Wikipedia. Oh my gosh. So if I teach them how to use it, they will know that it's not that easy, and it's really, really important to have open knowledge. And the third thing why I wanted is because I really need to teach them, or I really need to make a community in El Salvador to create from teachers from the university, to create information that is going to be valuable when there is no information or free information in the pandemic context. So that's why we tried and we made it.
You definitely made it. Thank you so much, Ana Maria, for sharing that. Rafi, what about the main learnings that you gained from this training of trainers? I know one of the reasons why I'm excited that Rafi, you are here, is because you were one of the most active participants in that training of trainers. Rafi, you went above and beyond with your feedback and everything. So why don't you tell us a little bit more of that? What was your main learning from this program?
Okay, hello Melissa, and hello everyone. I can see Brahim with us, I can see Salish with us. Hello everyone. So I think the most important thing I got from TOT is the understanding of the importance of diversity. Having friends from all over the world is some of the craziest thing you can ever have. Like right now, I'm from Bangladesh, Melissa is from Peru, Ana Maria is from El Salvador, and Buki Mukola is from Nigeria. Isn't that crazy? So I think this is the most one of the most craziest thing to have friends from all over the world. And besides the understanding of the diversity, I think I've been more organized and more disciplined after this training. I was really very much lazy before this training, right now. Whenever I feel very much stressed, whenever I feel very much over pressured, or I feel very much overwhelming with information. There's a term named information overload. Whenever I feel very much overloaded information, I just open a Google spreadsheet and I just organize my ideas like I learned from TOT. And just after organizing my ideas, I consider this uh, so little things that are bothering me. That's not really very much big, but that's bothering me a lot. So that becomes really very much easier to organize your ideas and to be a disciplined person. TOT made me a disciplined person a lot. And also, I've got so many friends from all over the world.
Thank you so much, Rafi. That is a very, very interesting and valuable insight. Like I mentioned, yes, in the TOT, we offer a lot of tools and a lot of strategies for you to plan your programs. And I am excited to hear that these are helpful also for other purposes in your academic, in your professional life. I'd like to pass the mic to Bukola. Bukola, so you could tell us maybe like a little bit more about how has the TOT prepared you specifically to better work with teachers in your country, in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you, Melissa, for having me. So for the TOT and how it has prepared me to work with teachers in my country, Nigeria, I would say the TOT has helped me make a whole lot of research, especially as it has to do with the Nigerian educational policy. I've been able to identify some of the gaps in the educational policy, right from the strategic educational plan that was implemented in 2018 up till date. And so I would also say the TOT has also helped me discover my stakeholders, people who I feel will be interested in this program, and how to improve their media information literacy skills. So it has really helped me make a whole lot of research. It has helped me to know the areas of localization for the module that was sent out. And also it has helped me determine the mode of implementation for the localizing the program in my community here in Nigeria. So I want to emphasize more on the area of research. Like it's normally, I know the type that carry out research on things that are not pertaining to my field of profession. But because of the TOT program, I've been able to carry a whole lot of research on education. And the policy is even the part that interests me the most. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bukola. That's really exciting to hear. And yeah, like especially the first module is a lot of research into the local education context. Thank you for highlighting that. Ana Maria, I would like to pass the mic back to you because I mentioned the program is 8 week long. We give you an additional week for completing assignments and everything, but it is very demanding, right? So maybe you could share a little bit of what helped you, Ana Maria, to complete successfully this program.
As a professor, I know how difficult can be to make a program to be useful and to be really clear to the other teachers. And as I told you once, it's really amazing how you can cover all the things that are there and you can understand everything. Even I think even that you don't speak that much English, you can go and try to translate it, but the instructions are really clear, and they have really build up everything that you will need to go to the finish. So it's really good. It's like you are going to complete one goal and there you're going to another goal. It could be really demanding when you are in a lot of things, but it's really satisfactory. It's, you really feel like you are doing really important, so you have to finish it. So thank you for do a well-made program. I really feel that it's like kind of like that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad the motivation is there, the pathway is clear, and that can facilitate that that completion and that, you know, like reaching that successful point of completion. Thank you, Ana Maria. Rafi, I have another question for you, and this is important. What advice would you give to, you know, people who are in this call or people who are watching this video later and who are interested in applying to this program, to this training of trainers?
Okay, thank you, Melissa, again for passing me the mic again. Okay, as I would say, really brainstorming would help a lot to the new ToT applicants. So brainstorming is going to be the one of the most crucial parts before applying to the program. You know, you have to be curious about the education system of your country. This is going to be really help you a lot. You can ask your teachers, maybe your high school teacher, that do you use Wikipedia? Do you support using Wikipedia in your classroom? Why or why not? You will have to be curious. If you're very much curious in the education system, you can make it till the end. And I think after a lot of brainstorming, you can think of the possible partners, like some development organizations or like some NGOs or the Minister of Education. As Bukola already said, you'll have to be interested in education sector, and you can think that do they can help us in this program, or why not. You'll have to do a lot of online researches on your laptop or on your desktop. I really emphasize on the brainstorming and the desk research before applying to this ToT, and this thing is going to help you a lot before applying in this program.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rafi. And to wrap up this this panel conversation, I would like to invite Bukola to tell us a little bit more about your plans for 2022. Right now, you completed the ToT, the training of trainers. You achieved certification. You are a certified trainer. You have just applied for funding as well. So once you receive this funding and once you are ready to implement the program in Nigeria, what is going to happen? What does it look like for you?
Okay, thank you, Melissa, for the question. So in my plans for the implementation here in Nigeria is to start with a state in Nigeria, that is Kwara State. And I intend to train 30 teachers to start with. And in the course of the training, it's more about strengthening their media information literacy skill and seeing other areas that they could become more useful, become content creators and not just consumers alone. So I feel it's a good start, and I look forward to my implementation here in Kwara State, Nigeria. And I believe this implementation will further create awareness about how they can effectively use Wikipedia as a learning tool and also promote media information literacy skill. Thank you.
Thank you, Bukola. That's super exciting. And thank you so much again, Ana Maria and Rafi, for joining us today and sharing your experiences, your plans, your tips as well. And hopefully this is helpful for more people who are watching this video, who are listening to this conversation live. Thank you so much. I know that we have a little bit of time left, and like I mentioned, I want to make sure that we have some time for questions and answers, for Q&A. And I know that we have a couple of questions already lined up. Maybe Sailesh, could you help me with the questions that we have so far?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Melissa. We have 3 questions right now. Four now. Okay. I would pass it to Kimmy, just because they want to ask this question here. Kimmy, do you want to ask a question first?
Yes, yes, good afternoon.
Hi, Kemi.
Hello, good afternoon. The question I want to ask is concerning this education program. I learned about it from Buki, which who is taking care of Kwara State. I'm from Lagos State, from Nigeria as well. So, and I've had this idea when I trained some students, when I organized some training in the Lagos State University as a university in Lasso. And that training gave birth to other things. They wanted more. They were so interested in Wikipedia. So I now had this idea that, okay, not just university students, let me see how I can take it to secondary schools, whereby we want to change the narrative of students just sitting on Instagram, watching things that don't really have value, to talk with Buki. And she told me this program was here. And I was like, I was already looking for sponsors for the program. So somebody was introducing me to someone in Coca-Cola and some other foundation, MTN, but they were asking me key questions. They said they don't want to work with an individual. They want to work with Wikipedia, the organization. They want to be sure that it is real, that the organization is doing this for schools so that they can partner. So they want it to be official. So I didn't have an answer for them because I was volunteering as an individual. So that's why I came for this program, to be able to understand what are the things I need to do. Because I was looking at May, our Children's Day is May 27th. So I was looking at organizing something on May 27th, which will be more intellectual than just the Children's Day party, like an intellectual thing that will introduce them to Wikipedia, will do articles, how they can create articles, how they can read, how they can use the references, secondary school students. So that was what I was looking at. So when I spoke to Buki, she enlightened me more, and she said I should come for this program so I can ask Melissa the questions I need to ask. So that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Kemi. That, I think a lot of what you just shared is are common issues among volunteers that want to do education projects. Sometimes the institution doesn't take you seriously. Sometimes securing partnerships can be a struggle as well. And the goal is, of course, for teachers, for the students to see Wikipedia beyond the stereotypes, right? To understand it, to approach it critically, and so that they feel empowered and with the base in order to contribute and to add content. To your question about, how do you legitimize even, how do you demonstrate that this is legit, that this is real, right? So we have this page on Meta, for example, you can see it on my screen, where we have an ongoing list of the people who are becoming certified trainers. You can see the ones from the 2020 pilot here in Bolivia, Philippines, and Morocco. And you can see here our cohort of graduates from 2021. But not only that, we provide you a certification as well, an official certification as a trainer of this program. We provide you with an open badge as well. And so this can really help you show the education institutions that you have the support, that you have the backing of an institution like the Wikimedia Foundation as well. Regarding other aspects that you mentioned, it's important to keep in mind that this program, Reading Wikipedia, is specifically to work with teachers. It can be adapted to work with higher education students, but not directly with high school students. But we believe that working with teachers is a way of sustaining the program as well, because you teach something to the teacher, and then the teacher, he transmits it to maybe like their 25 students this year, but maybe the next years they will have 25 different students, and next year 25 different students. So by working with the teachers, we really secure that this initiative can continue on and on and on. For the sake of because we have some more questions, I'm going to stop there, but I will be happy, Kemi, to continue this conversation via email. I will leave my email there. So maybe if you want to reach out and maybe have a one-on-one conversation, that could also be helpful. And Buki, I see you raise your hand. I would appreciate it if you could type your answer in the chat so that we can continue with the couple of questions that we have before we run out of time. Thank you so much. Sailash, maybe can you point me to the next question, please, friend?
Sure, Melissa. Yeah, we have a question. We have 4 questions, but you can like answer them briefly. So the first one is on the question regarding trainings and workshops. I would need to receive consent from organization to share them and consent from the parents and guardians of student trainings. Would you consider that feedback sufficient?
So I am understanding that, so the trainings and workshops, they are designed, like I mentioned, for teachers. So you don't need to ask for parental or guardian consent from students because you don't work with the students directly. We work with the teachers. And these workshops and these trainings, they don't have to be broadcasted publicly. You can have a small, closed Zoom group. You can have them in person so that these kind of consent forms are not necessary. I hope that answers the question, but I'll be happy to follow up.
Thanks, Melissa. This question was from Frank. Then we have the second question, which is from Gabriel. The question is on the question, have any of the training of trainers resources been translated into other languages? French, as far as I am concerned.
Oh, so French, not quite yet. So you can see here in my screen, all of the modules of the Reading Wikipedia in the classroom program are translated, yes, in these 4 languages. The ToT resources are mainly available in English, but we had in the first cohort one participant from Guinea, Abubakar, and he has been translating some of the tools that we use, for example, for the budget or the evaluation surveys. He has been translating them to French. So hopefully we can have a better bank of resources in different languages. So not quite right now, but it's something that is constantly developing, Gabriel. Thank you for the question.
Thanks, Melissa, and thanks, Gabriel, for the question. We have a question from Carlo. About the 3 mandatory synchronous sessions, are there any fixed dates or times for that?
So not yet. Actually, these 3 mandatory synchronous sessions, we decide on the dates and the time depending on the cohort. So let's say the application closes on the 20th, right? So between the 21st and the 25th, we select who the 25 people are going to be who are participating in this training of trainers. And then we do a question. We ask them, okay, what is your preferred day? Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday. And what is your preferred time? Maybe, 13 UTC, like right now, or maybe later. So we give you a few options. And depending on what the majority expresses, we schedule the synchronous training sessions according to that. So for example, last year, we had trainings, the 3 synchronous training sessions. It happened on a Saturday, on a Friday, and on a Friday. And they were for Peru, for example, they were very early in the morning. They were about 7 in the morning, 7, 8 in the morning. Yeah, but it depends on the final cohort.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you,
Thanks, Carlo. Yeah, we have one last question, Melissa. It's from, it's from Leadership Gold. How can Reading Wikipedia in classroom improve teachers' capacities and Nigeria education curriculum?
Thank you so much, Clement, for that question. Yes, I think Buki is actually the expert right now in Nigeria, Reading Wikipedia, and the curriculum. So Buki, if you want to leave your contact information there to connect with Clement, that would be awesome as well. But in general, how this program improves the teachers' capacities, are very, very connected to the media and information literacy framework. So the teachers learn how to use Wikipedia, how to navigate Wikipedia using like the categories, the links, the hyperlinks, and how to access information in this ecosystem. And then they learn some strategies to evaluate information directly from Wikipedia, like lateral reading, like using Wikipedia as a starting point. And then from there, these are transferable to other environments. And finally, how to, of course, they strengthen their capacities on creating information by knowing how to contribute to Wikipedia, but also by understanding the difference between, you know, a crowdsourced project and a project that where they cannot intervene, for example. But yes, for a specific curriculum questions, I think Buki will be very, very helpful for that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Buki, for sharing your email.
Great, that's all. That's all the questions. You can reach out to...
Oh, sorry, Silas, you muted yourself halfway.
Oh, sorry. I was saying you can reach out to Melissa personally for any other questions. Melissa has already shared her email address. Maybe you can do it again, Melissa. But yeah,
Yes.
Thanks everyone for the questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Sadiq.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sadiq from Ghana. Sorry, I joined very late. I didn't see the application process, but I wanted to find out if this recording will be available and where can we access it?
Thank you, Sadiq. That's a really good question. Yes, I will make sure that we upload this session to Wikimedia Commons, and you will find it. Where is the ToT section? You will find it here. I will also send an email to the education mailing list with this reminder, but you will find it here, over here, in this section of the ToT. You can see here. But yes, and yes, Buki, I'm seeing your question. Give me 1 second. Yes, Sadiq. I will make this available so you can access the recording later. And I will also I have left my email in the chat. So in case you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Cool. And just finally, I will address the question from Buki about the Wiki Education section supports volunteers organizing trainings directly for students in secondary schools. Yeah, unfortunately, this program in a specific, Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom, does not. It works directly with teachers. So then the teachers, they can do activities with their students according to, you know, what their class is, what their subject area is, and what their methodologies they are using. So yeah, so this course certifies you to work with teachers. Cool. Well, thank you so much for everybody for joining today. Thank you so much for staying until this point. I really appreciate all of your thoughtful questions. And no, you don't need to be a teacher to apply. Anybody can apply as long as you are interested in, here are the requirements. There you go. As long as you're interested in the program, in Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom, in building capacity in your Wikimedia education work, you are welcome to apply. In the first cohort, we had a really nice mix of teachers, of Wikimedians, very seasoned Wikimedians, but also very new Wikimedians. So you're all invited to apply. We are excited to welcome you and learn from you as well. And yeah, like I mentioned, don't hesitate to reach out, check out also all of the different cool projects that are happening in the community. If you go to Meta Wikimedia, you can learn about the what is happening in the community in the education newsletter. You can see. Great. So yeah, I look forward to seeing your applications and reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And I look forward to hearing from you. Muchas gracias. Bye, Lane. Bye, Sadiq. Bye, Carlo.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.